Welcome back to the Born Blondes podcast. I'm Aubrey.
And I'm Randa. Thanks for coming back to join us.
I don't know what that face was. I apologize.
It kind of looked like you were like half scared.
I'm still nervous.
We're excited and
nervous. There's going to be a lot of making fun of ourselves.
Yes.
what
So
we're
this
here
episode
for.
is basically going to piggyback off of the first one with a few side notes of like a couple of things that we mentioned in that
I'm going to
one.
go more into depth.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
Do the side stories rather than just kind of plugging along, throwing out
Yeah. Just a little-
answers
yeah.
and whatnot. And we made sure we crowned the winner.
For those who are watching us on our YouTube channel, I am wearing a crown because I won the first episode because I know Aubrey more than she knows me.
Not by much.
Not by much.
Not
it
by
was
much.
very much a close call, that's for sure. I'll give you props for that. You tried. Pat you on the back. You work hard.
I worked hard.
You worked hard.
I put that brain to use is what I put that brain is what came out of my mouth. I put that brain.
She had another stroke.
I put the brain to use. Apparently we're not doing that at the moment though. So
Nope. Nope, she's updating again. Rebooting.
reboot.
Before we get trucking along, did you set a timer this time?
I did not.
You should probably do
Okay.
that. So we can stay on track. Perfect.
It's on.
So
Also, if you happen to hear fun background noises,
Oh, yeah.
crossing our fingers that you don't, but we got leaf blowers and lawnmowers
Yep.
and stuff going outside.
neighbors are getting their grass cut. So apologize for that. Do you
neighbors?
want to start off with our first initial?
We can.
Because I feel like you remember it more than I do, or at
well,
least
you gave me.
slightly more.
I was gonna say you kind of gave me quite the introduction.
That's true, and I barely remember it. But
So, as far as my point of view, I was in. I'm pretty sure it was 7th grade. We had a new kid at school, and I decided that I'd be friends with the new kid. I can't say I know what it's. Well, that's not true.
funny.
Anyway.
Brief pause. Intermission.
Okay. I can't say I know what it's like being the new kid, but at the same time, I kind of know what it's like being the new kid. I switched elementary schools coming from 3rd grade going into 4th grade. So I kind of knew what it was like to be the new kid, but at the same time, a lot of what happened there was the elementary school that I was going to got shut down. So everybody that was in that elementary school got dispersed to other schools in the school district.
You know,
So there were several kids that went with me to the new school. So
okay.
I was the new kid, but wasn't.
you were like one of the new kids.
Correct.
Along with several others.
Correct.
And I never knew that. I didn't know you switched elementary school.
Mhm. The ECC,
Uh-huh.
that was my old elementary. The old one, not the new one.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that was my original elementary.
Interesting.
My
I never knew
sister-
that.
So, in our district, our elementary goes from kindergarten to 6th grade.
Correct.
And then middle school is 7th, 8th. And then high school is
9th through
the
12th.
remainder.
Correct.
So, my sister was actually the last 6th grade class to make it completely through that elementary school.
Oh,
So, they
okay.
actually did a time capsule, and it's buried under the flagpole at the school.
that's awesome.
They reopened
When are they-
it.
oh,
Well, they reopened it for their high school graduation.
Okay.
And then they were supposed to open it for their 10-year reunion, but their 10-year fell in 2020.
Of course. Damn
So,
COVID.
I don't know if they ever went back and reopened it after the fact, or...
We'll have to ask.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a question that we'll have to ask.
That's
but
interesting.
yeah, they were the last 6th grade class to get all the way through. So I had to move elementaries, where
Okay.
my sister just moved to
that
the junior
sucks.
high.
Look at that. 16 years and I'm still learning something new about you. You learn something new every day. That was the new thing I learned today.
So I kind of know what it's like to be the new kid. So I decided to befriend this girl, and she consistently, you remind me of my best friend. You remind me of my best friend. You remind me of my best friend.
Yep.
And same thing for you.
Yeah. Yep.
And so the summer, because that was 7th grade. So the summer going into 8th grade, she was like, the three of us need to get together.
Right, you need to meet my other best friend.
Yes.
And then to me, it was, you need to meet my best friend. Like, the three of us need to meet because you two are identical.
Yes.
Essentially.
So we ended up, did she have her permit at the time?
Oh my God.
I feel like she drove us. But I don't know if she was...
I have no idea. All I know is somehow we both ended up at her house.
Well, I know we ended up at her house, but I remember...
Oh, yeah, we also went to...
I want to say it was she drove her dad's truck to the mall.
Yes, that had to have been it, for sure.
But would she have had her permit at that time? Like, I feel like that's really young. But I can't say anything because Peyton has his permit and he's in 8th grade.
Correct.
So I guess
It must have been that way because somehow we got to the mall.
Regardless, I remember her driving us to the mall.
Yes.
And I feel like that's a store everywhere. We went into Hot Topic. Well, I was trying to figure out if it was like a local store, but I feel like I see it everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So we went into Hot Topic. And I don't think anybody else bought anything. I don't remember. But regardless.
I don't remember who bought what, but
I remember what you bought. Because Randa picked up a chapstick. Because it was Jack Skellington. She was like, oh, like, Jack Skellington, whatever. She bought the chapstick.
Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite movie, so of course Jack Skellington chapstick was a must at that time.
Bought the chapstick.
Definitely needed.
And then, I don't remember what we did from there, but I remember ending up at the food court.
Correct.
And we were sitting there, and she was like, I'm going to open this, like, I need chapstick. So she opened it, whatever, she's reading the packaging. And on the packaging, it said cherry flavored.
Yes.
Okay, so we sat at the food court.
Boop-a-doop-a-doop.
I was thinking, loading, buffering. We were sitting at the food court. She decided she needed chapstick. So she opened it, and the packaging said cherry flavored. I don't know what possessed you. But she goes,
you just being weird.
I wonder if it tastes like cherries. And keep in mind, this isn't one of those, like, regular sized chapsticks. It's like the jumbo chapsticks.
It was huge.
She took the cap off and goes, And from that day forward, I knew she was going to be my best friend.
Yep, that definitely sealed the deal.
And to answer your question, no. No, it did not taste like...
No, it did not taste like cherries. It didn't really taste much of anything, actually.
I remember.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
It was very interesting, to say the least. So,
good stuff.
basically, everything you said happened on my side as well. She kept saying, you remind me of my best friend, like, you remind me of someone I hang out a lot, like, you should see her, like, you guys should meet, blah, blah, blah. And then... yeah, I feel like once I met you, it was just absolute, like, we connected.
Yes.
We were both, the fact that you would laugh at me after licking chapstick, like, two things happened. I was like, she's either going to think I'm really weird and, like, never want to speak to me or see me again, or we're going to become best friends. And it's like, we became best friends.
And, like, part of me feels bad because we became immediate best friends, and then it was us hanging out all the time.
Yes.
And the person who introduced us, like, you still hang out with her, you still see her, but, like, I don't. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's pretty much
it's
been
no
that.
bad blood.
No.
At all.
It was one of those falling out things.
Yeah.
But
Which happens. Absolutely.
I think it's funny because it was, I don't want to say it was that way from the very beginning, but, like, pretty early on, it was that way.
Yes.
And, like, it's no different than our relationships. You guys have had your falling outs, your making ups. We've had, me and her had our falling outs.
Me and you have had our falling outs.
That's what I said, just like us.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a cycle, and it finally got to that point where we're adults. I don't have bad blood against her. I just don't see her.
Yeah,
I don't
life got in
talk
the
to
way.
her.
Things happened. It is
Right.
what it is.
And
at
you
that
don't,
point.
you don't. I mean, you see her more than I do, and talk to her more than I do. But like, you still don't see her a ton.
Correct. Lately, since we've been doing this, I see.
I was gonna say I see you a lot, but like.
Yeah.
Until we started doing this, it was one of those like hit or miss and like get together every so often. Now, I
Right.
mean, now it's weekly, but like
Yes. Very weekly, multiple times.
multiple
a week.
times a week. Today, yesterday, the day before.
Yep.
You know, we're going on what, 3 days? 4 days? 3 days.
Well, we saw you Saturday. We saw you Sunday.
No.
Yeah.
Saturday, Monday.
That's what I meant. Monday.
Tuesday, not Wednesday.
Yeah, 4 days. What do you know? Hey.
Woo.
And are you sick of me yet?
No.
Okay.
That's no different than we were in high school, except
That's
the fact
true.
that you go home to your kids and I go home to my boyfriend and that kid.
A bonus.
My bonus baby. I don't want to say my kid. Like,
Right.
I don't know. That's a conversation
Yeah.
for later. But anyway, the only difference is we're not spending the night 24/7
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
consistently together. I'll let you take the next story.
Oh gosh.
It is our inside joke with Midol.
Midol. Yep. So
Sponsor. No, just kidding.
Not sponsored.
Kidding. Not sponsored.
This is a Mitchell video. This is not sponsored by Midol.
It's not.
I don't even know where to begin. So, in the mornings at our high school, we were able to walk around the building. We had another friend that we hung out with, who I was really close with, and you were close with him too, but
I dated him.
that's true. But that was after the fact.
It was after the fact.
But anyway,
But
regardless,
yes, we were close.
we were walking around in the morning at school, and Midol, if you would have guessed, I was on my period. Sorry for TMI, but whatever.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's how it went. So I had taken Midol before school, and it was the one that had like the caffeine in it.
They all have caffeine in it.
I don't know, because I always feel like it was like an extra
Like the Midol Complete or whatever.
whatever. Yeah, probably.
They all have caffeine in it,
Okay.
though.
Well, anyway, I had taken that before school, and I was just super off the wall, weirder than normal, being funny, being whatever. And both our friend and Aubrey was like, "Are you okay?
Well, I said, are you okay?
Are you okay?
And he said, what are you on?
What are you on?" And I go, "Midol." Like it's some
the big
secret,
bad drug.
like it's some secret freaking thing, and
At the
Oh.
time,
it's so stupid.
it's one of those stupid ones, but it makes me laugh every
It
time.
sticks because now, obviously, one, I'm a female and I'm always going to get periods, so I'm always going to need pain relief because, you know, and
That's every time I reach for my
Yeah.
ball, I'm like,
every time it never fails. Never fails.
what are you on?
And I feel like it's always one of those stories that, like, one, it's you had to have been there to, like,
Yeah.
really witness it, really have it be funny or anything of significance, whatever. But, like, yeah, you had to be there, but it's also one of those stories that I always feel like I have to say.
Yes.
Because I always think about it. I'm always...
It's kind of nice, though, because when you're in, like, that shitty mood and you're in pain and,
Oh, God,
like,
yeah.
all that, and you do go to reach for it, it gives you a little lift in your day.
Yeah, you're like,
yeah.
remember
It's-
that time? Like, yeah.
It has its benefits.
Oh, my crown's falling down.
Ugh. How dare you?
How rude. But that, I mean, that's literally the story of that one. It is so stupid. It is so, like I said,
But
one of
it's
those things
funny.
that if you didn't witness it, obviously to you listeners or viewers, it's not going to be funny, but it's a part of us. So
Or
if,
may not be as funny as we think.
correct. Yes. We think it's hilarious.
Uh.
And the third party who was also involved, he thought it was hilarious at the time. So, oh my gosh, what?
I'm sorry.
Oh my god. What's
That
happening?
reminded me of another story with him.
Oh god.
You forgot to drink your milk.
were hanging out at his house, and
Oh.
for some reason, was it me or you? One of us was
I don't remember. I think it was you because he came to the passenger side of the car and I was driving at
Correct.
the time.
So I must have been drinking
We
milk.
had dinner.
That's so weird. I don't ever remember
gonna-
drinking milk
I was
with a
gonna
meal.
say, I don't.
Am I
I
okay?
don't know.
Am I okay?
One of us. It was one. It might have been me, but one of us
whoever.
had milk.
He comes running out of his house because
keep
we
in
had-
mind we're leaving. We're in the car. I'm
Reversing.
backing down the driveway.
he's running with a cup of milk. Wait! And he gets to the window. You forgot
forgot
to
to drink your milk.
And we're like, dump it in the sink. I don't want it anymore.
You forgot to drink your milk.
I totally forgot about that one, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I forgot
That's
about that because I was like,
hilarious.
we always quote the My Doll thing, and I was like, we also always quote the
We
milk.
always, yeah. Oh
You forgot to drink your milk.
oh my god.
He sounded very concerned.
He was like, if you don't drink this milk, like,
He sounded very concerned.
we're gonna have issues.
Oh my
We're
god.
like, we can't waste the milk, it's expensive.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Do we have any other ones with him?
I know.
I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. But whatever.
Oh, that's funny
Um,
though.
So,
The next one we have.
the next little story that we have is piggybacking. Piggybacking?
Piggyback-
Piggybacking?
Piggy.
Is piggybacking. Oh my god.
Piggybacking.
Like, English is hard for me.
Baby back ribs. Anyway.
What the fuck? Okay.
Oh,
this
the
is
brain is
going-
not.
Swimmingly. We mentioned this in our first episode.
Although we had mentioned it slightly when we mentioned the tractor incident when Randa went.
That's
"Whee!"
true. And it was very brief. So we wanted to go a little bit more in
Oh,
depth of that one.
yes.
I feel like you're better at explaining it. So
Sure. So we went up to Randa's aunt's for the weekend because your dad was living with your aunt at the time.
correct.
And so we decided that we were going to go up and visit, stay for the weekend. Aunt was excited to have us. Dad
I want
was
to say
excited
we
to
were there
have
for a
us.
specific reason. But now
I think we were just going to visit.
okay.
Because unless we were supposed to go for tractor pulls and they got canceled.
Something like that, I'm sure.
I don't remember. Regardless,
yeah.
we went up. So, her aunt, unbeknownst to me, we pull in the driveway, and over to the side of the yard is a cemetery.
Yep.
She lived next door to
A
the cemetery, which
Very
was great.
close.
She made fun jokes about how quiet the neighbors were. Great. Love it. I love the dark humor. I get it. What I'm not a fan of?
You said that so like yeah, this is but like that's hilarious. Okay, I don't know how you said that without laughing.
What wasn't funny was later that night we were sitting around and she decided to tell us
A ghost story.
all the stories.
Yes. That she has.
The one that sticks in, she had a lot, but the one that sticks in my head is she was telling me about how, well, she was telling us, not me, but she was telling us about how she was doing dishes one day and her sink sits right in front of a window and the window looks out to the cemetery.
Yep.
And she was saying that she was doing dishes one day and she watched the silhouette of a little boy's head walk underneath her window. And gave me and Randa the heebie-jeebies,
Yep.
like, whatever.
Gave us the ick. We're like, ooh, do
Later-
we really want to stay here?
Later that night, we had gone to bed, and there was a box fan
Yep.
sitting on a table because it was the middle of summer, and I don't think they had air conditioning.
Yeah.
So on this table was a shitload of papers,
Mm-hmm.
like stacks of papers. and the box fan was sitting on top of it. Anyway, me and Randa were your typical teenage girls, laughing and giggling in bed and staying up way later than we needed to.
So we weren't actually sleeping. We were just
No.
in bed, supposed to be sleeping. It was late.
Talking.
Yep.
Doing what we do.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, we hear a loud crash. Me and Randa, same time, screamed, grabbed the blankets, and hid under the blankets. I was like, we have to turn the light on.
Yeah.
Randa's like, you do
get
it.
up.
I was like, you do it.
Nope.
And then we were
So
like,
we went
okay.
back and forth for like...
Well, it was like, let's both do it. And we're like, okay, so we literally like peek our head out of the blankets and both of us went, nope. So we're sitting there trying to figure out
what to do.
what the hell we're gonna do. So Randa just starts screaming for her dad.
Yep.
I start screaming for dad. He comes in and he's like, what? We're like, will you turn the light on? Like freaking out. He's like, what is going on? Just turn the light on.
It was terrifying.
So we turn the light on. He's like, what? Like very nonchalant. We're like, something tipped the fan over. And he's like, it's sitting on a pile of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was very... So in case you were unaware, our tech guy sucks.
Yep.
But the camera died. Anyway.
Yep.
I was saying that he basically just explained, like, the fan was off balance. He picked it up, put it back on the table, turned the lights off, and left.
Yep. And we were sitting there like, we're like, it wasn't the papers. It was that little boy that my aunt was telling us about.
Well, and then she kept telling us, like, if anything happens, just tell them to go rest. Tell them to go rest. They need to go back to rest. It was a long night. We'll just say that.
It was. After that, I don't think we actually got any sleep because then we were just
not
up
like we
talking
ever
about it.
slept anyway.
That's true. We were always up super late, just playing on our phones, talking, laughing, all the things.
That's speaking of phones. We used to trade phones all the time too. I remember that.
We did. We did. Like anytime you would get a text, I would read it to you and be like, so and so said this, and you'd be like, okay, type this, and I would literally type it for you and
I remember a lot of it was because at the time I had the
flippy, slidey,
the sliding phone that had the full keyboard.
Wasn't it called like a Sidekick?
I don't remember. I really don't.
Because it was like a regular. Stop. Oh my god.
That was our timer.
All the distractions.
But that's at the time I had the keyboard, and I remember you liked typing on the keyboard
because I didn't have one.
Because you didn't have one.
Correct.
And I liked the old-fashioned...
The ABC
texting.
Yep.
Because not that I couldn't, but I just didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would switch all the time.
Yep.
And the main reason I remember that is because I'll go through my, like, Facebook memories, and, like, we used to post on Facebook, hey, we're trading phones. If you need me, text Randa. It's like... Oh, yeah.
So cringe. Our old Facebook posts, bruh. Those are something. Those are something.
There's something.
Yeah. We also called each other boo a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm hanging out with my boo today, or like you'd say.
I have multiple Facebook, like photo albums, and they're all like me and my boo, part 1.
Yep.
Me and my boo,
Yep.
part 2. Me and my boo, part 4.
Oh my god, we had so many photos. So many.
I had the good old digital, like, Kodak
You know what's funny?
camera.
We used to record
All
the time. And I really wish that it's probably long gone, but I wish that there was some
I have
way.
some on my Facebook.
Not very many, though.
But not
You have the
many.
riding solo one in your bathroom. But even before that, we would just literally, like, while we're getting ready, we'll just set the camera up and, like, just get ready and dance in the mirror.
We did it before it was cool.
We should have posted that stuff to YouTube long ago.
What were we thinking?
But at that, I know, we could be so famous right now. Oh, no, I'm kidding. No, but for real, like we didn't even think about it. Like we didn't care to do that. We just cared about recording it, having fun, us looking back on it and be like, this is so funny, or like, what the heck were we doing? Like it was
more like, what the heck were we doing?
We literally recorded all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of memories.
We were constantly taking pictures.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was when you started. I don't want to say like when you started photography, because but
I've always had an interest.
Yeah.
In
I
job shadowed at a photography company in 8th grade. And I wanted to do the same thing again when we had to do the job shadowing in, I think it was junior year.
Okay.
Except I was told several times by people that, like, you'll never make any money in it. And, like, it's not something that you can live off of. So essentially, like, find something else type deal. So I actually, I was gonna I had a forensics teacher, and she had said something about possibly getting me in with a coroner. And which at the time because at the time I had really gotten into bones and I wanted to do the forensic anthropology.
Yeah.
And she was talking to me and she's like, in this area, the closest you're going to get is like a coroner. Mm-hmm. Which, just for the job shadowing purposes. And I was like, okay. And I ended up, she had said one of her other students had got in and job shadowed a coroner. Well, it ended up he had like hookups because it was like his uncle or it is something.
Yeah.
Me being my age and outside of the group, I couldn't really job shadow for like confidentiality purposes, and obviously it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I ended up job shadowing them, but I couldn't like see any of the like total behind the scenes type deal.
Right.
But they had asked one of the families that was there that day if I was allowed to like sit in on the funeral and just kind of see how they did things at the funeral home.
Dude, I could never.
So,
oh my god,
I don't want to say it was cool because it's not cool when somebody dies, but Correct. It was a
what for you
good experience.
Yeah,
because it was I want to say it was either a World War I or a World War II vet.
Oh.
So obviously he had lived out his full life, but it was the first military funeral that I had ever seen. Mm. So I watched like the folding of the flag and the 21 gun salute, and like I got to witness all of that, which
is
again cool. I don't want to say cool because it's not cool, but it was a eye-opening experience. It's not one of those things that a lot of people get to experience.
Correct.
The full military funeral.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't like it.
No, I get what you're saying. We get it.
Yeah. But that's what I ended up doing for my junior year job shadowing.
Yeah, that's pretty.
So, it went from photography to the funeral home.
That side of things. Side of things, yeah.
Yeah. And then when I left high school or graduated high school, I was actually going to college, and I only went for one semester, but I was going to go for radiology and hoping to specialize in MRI tech as like an MRI technician, because I knew I wanted to work with bones. So getting to like x-ray and do all that, like I was still getting to read and deal with bones and go to school for 4, 6, 8 years rather than sign up for another 12 and go into forensic anthropology.
That's crazy. The amount, like I get it, but the amount of schooling that you have to do for any profession that you want to do is always crazy. Because not only do you have to do 12 years of the normal stuff, like, then you have to go, it's no. It sounds cool, it sounds fun, but for me personally, it's a big no.
And that's
A big no.
That I feel like if I would have taken the gap year that I wanted to, I would have been more likely to finish college rather than drop out of college. And now, sitting here at 28 years old, I'm trying to figure out how to go back to school. Or if I want to go back to school.
Right.
And how to make it work. Like,
Yeah.
literally months before Ricky came into the picture, I had a plan of, this is what I'm doing. This is my plan. I'm going back to school. I'm on my own. Like, and I was okay with that. Like, I was very set in the fact that, like, I'm doing this by myself.
Right.
And, like, I fully accepted that. Like, I was done with relationships. I was done with everything. I was figuring out how to make me happy.
Yeah, you're focusing
and
on you.
then, like, within the next 3-4 months after I was set in my plan, Ricky came into my life and in the best way possible, flipped everything.
Yeah.
Into I don't want to say a completely different category, but, like, just flipped my life around completely.
Yeah.
I still want to go to school. I still aspire to have these dreams. It's just, it looks different now.
Yeah. But you can still make it work and you can still do those things. It's just going to be, not only do you have to think of you, but you have other people to think about, which is fine, which is completely fine. Yeah, the old gap year situation, I was also going to do that, and then 6 months later, I got pregnant. So
I don't want to say you struggled with school, but, like,
I only
you also
struggled because I was never
school.
there.
Right.
If I was there, when I was there, it was fine. I was passing classes, I was succeeding, I was doing this and this, but then when I wasn't able to go to school,
that's
when I was failing, was when I decided that I didn't like it because I was so far behind, and then I was like, F it at this point, like, there's no reason for me to continue. And then once I reached that point, it was, I need to graduate. Like, that's what I need to focus on. And then after that,
you need to get there.
Yeah, I will focus on whatever else, but graduation is the key. Like, that was what I needed. And then I was like, I'll take a year off. And then got pregnant.
I went from graduating in May, graduating high school, and then immediately went into the summer semester at college.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way I could have done that.
It was too much.
Thank you.
It was too much.
Too much. You need...
Like I said, if I would... Even to take the summer off. Like, something.
Absolutely.
But that didn't happen. So...
Sometimes life has a funny way of saying, haha.
Yeah.
You wanted to do that? Nope.
I didn't want to.
No, I was saying, like...
Oh.
Like...
I was going to say, I didn't want to immediately go into the summer semester.
Right.
But
it's like, you wanted to do this.
Shit happens.
I'm going to laugh in your face and give you what you should be doing.
I'm going to give you student loans that you have to pay with absolutely no degree. You're welcome.
What can I say except
you're welcome. But
I think that's...
I think talking about, like, going a little more in depth into our school careers might be a fun one for next time.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up for now.
Yep.
Remember to follow, like, share
on all of our socials.
You can email us.
Yep.
It's thebornblondes@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. The same as last ending of the episode. If you have any questions
back to the end of the episode where we just sit here and do finger guns at you.
Because we have no idea how to wrap this up because we're new here. If you have any questions or topic ideas that you want us to speak on, completely different. Eventually, we will get to a point of the podcast that we won't be talking about us and how we met and this and this. This is just for you guys to kind of get to know us and see who we are, and then we will get more into
Where we're coming from.
Yeah.
How 16 years of friendship lasted for 16 years.
yes, yes. So eventually we will get to the point of I don't want to say cooler topics, but topics that don't involve
Cooler topics like funerals. Anyway, thanks for joining.
See you later.